The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we make it easy for you to buy here or sell here. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here while your vehicle is worth more than it ever has been, and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here at the Team Automotive Group.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
As we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, as always, here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you and yours, roughly some 24 hours ago. We start today's show talking about Louisiana news and the fact that there are some very dedicated people here in our state looking to make your holidays brighter. The state treasurer of our state, Treasurer Schroeder, announcing this week that the state of Louisiana, his office in particular, is holding and desperately looking to get back into your hands $900 million of unclaimed property. According to John Schroeder, Treasurer Schroeder, there are so many people that have unclaimed property. It comes out on average to 1 out of every 6 of you watching right now has a check waiting on you. As a matter of fact, and this must be Marty or a relative of his, big money ballers. According to Treasurer Schroeder, someone in Baton Rouge just received a check for $109,133.54. Yeah, chump change. Find that in the sofa cushions. Yeah, under the floor mat on the car. You know, I can't imagine what the response from that individual must have been, nor can I imagine as well, how do you not know you have $109,133.54 of your money being held by the state? Unless, like I say, you big money baller like Marty, he doesn't miss that kind of money. But 1 in 6 of our fellow Louisianians has a check waiting simply to be claimed. Now, obviously, in the digital age, you can go to the Louisiana State Treasurer's website, or you can call 1-888-925-4127. 1-888-925-4127. 4127. The treasurer says that employees are standing by live as we speak, ready to take your call. Now, obviously, if you can't call during business hours, it will probably be easier to simply go online. If memory serves correct, you can go to the state treasurer's website. There'll be a tab that you click on for unclaimed property, put in name, last 4 digits of the social, and it will tell you how much of your money the state is holding and wants desperately to give back to you. In the back end of COVID, the holidays, everything else going on, who couldn't use some extra money right about now? So, again, 1-888-925-4127. Folks are standing by, and they would love nothing more than to know your holiday season is going to be a lot brighter because they were able to do their jobs and put your hard-earned money back in your hands. If at the end of the holiday season you find yourself strapped for cash, well, you can't blame it on Treasurer John Schroeder and the fine employees in his office, because they're letting you know, we've got your money, we want to give it back to you, so give us a call and let's make this happen. Word to the wise usually is sufficient. You know, there's been a lot lately made about the new hire for the LSU football coach, Coach Brian Kelly. And on social media, internet, and the like, they were all, talking about trying to make a tie-in between Callin' Baton Rouge, which is kind of like the football theme song for our LSU Tigers. Well, it was announced yesterday that the author of the song, Garth Brooks, will in fact be calling Baton Rouge. First time, if memory serves correct, in 5 years that he has performed in Louisiana. The first time in 25 years since he's performed in Baton Rouge, and will be the first ever concert in Tiger Stadium. It is something that folks are already clamoring over tickets for. They're already trying to figure out, how am I going to get there and be in that number? I cannot begin to imagine, and I'm not even a big country music fan, but I can only begin to imagine what kind of excitement this event is going to generate. And ironically, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if he comes up with a special version of Calling Baton Rouge, because according to Garth, it's one of his favorite songs to perform in concert. So get your tickets early, because my gut tells me that they are going to go really, really fast. Just saying. Finally, good news for New Orleans Saints fans. No, it's not that. I'll tell you right now, Drew Brees is not coming back. It's not that good news. But Taysom Hill has now officially been tabbed as the starting quarterback for tonight's matchup with the hated Dallas Cowgirls. And yeah, I called them the Cowgirls. It is something that a lot of Saints fans have been wondering, particularly on the heels of this elongated losing streak. When are we going to see Taysom Hill get the start? Well, you have not, because you ask not. And apparently enough people have asked, at least inquired. So tonight, it will be Taysom Hill starting after Trevor Siemian has gone 0-4 in the last games. It's something that a lot of people were really concerned about, particularly in the wake of him signing this huge contract. And in the last game against Buffalo, you just see him dressed out, but standing on the sideline in the midst of a massacre. And listen, y'all, I get it. I understand it has to be a must-play situation. because if you put him out there and he gets hurt, now you have no one but Trevor Siemian. And we know, unfortunately, how that's worked out so far. Nothing against Trevor, good guy. But quite frankly, that inexperience combined with the number of injuries that the Saints have right now, he's just not getting the job done. Pure and simple. And at that level, making that amount of money, being a professional, folks don't want to hear excuses. They really don't. And again, times are tight for people. Those with a family of 4, buying T-shirts and caps, paying for parking, for concessions, ticket prices, not to mention the time invested in it all. And Saints fans have a right to be concerned. No two ways about it. And apparently, Sean Payton has realized we might not make the playoffs this year. I don't want to use up all the goodwill that I've managed to accumulate over the years. So we need to cut our losses and find out exactly where we stand at this point. So tonight, hopefully it will be a different outcome. I will be the first to admit anything it takes to beat the Cowboys, just get it done. Pure and simple. As a man of faith, I pride myself on not, quote, hating certain things, individuals, entities, etc., because hate is such a strong word. And if not used properly or kept in context, you do more hurt to yourself than you do to the person you hate by allowing hate to take root in your heart. Now, all that being said, if you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, well, I might just have to make a little slight accommodation as far as the hate thing goes in that regard. Just kidding, Cowboy fans. No, not really. But whatever it takes, get it done. Get it done. And hopefully, this time tomorrow, all of the Saints Nation will be feeling a little bit better. Maybe not gripped with playoff fever, but if nothing else, just beat them doggone Cowboys. That's all. That's all. We are coming up on the first break of today's show. When we come back, proof positive that when you hear me say liberals are dangerous, it's not just window dressing. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen some pretty high-profile individuals come up with some things that are downright scary if you love freedom and liberty. And I would take a guess that's the majority of you watching right now. We'll talk about that after we take the first break of today's show, right here, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances. Your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. I forget right off the top of my head who to attribute the quote to. Marty, maybe you can help me in this regard. And I'll paraphrase, those willing to forsake freedom for security deserve neither. In the wake of the terrorist attacks of 9/11 and more recently the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a number of individuals that have made a conscious decision to use the threat of not being safe to try and usurp our freedoms and our liberties. You know, life is a funny thing in that, and I know you have probably experienced this as well. You ever, now that I think about it, I'm probably a prime example for many people as a black conservative. You ever flip through the channels and see something you've never seen before, and you start watching it and you go, I don't care for this show too much. So you go on to something else. I've always been that way about the show on CNBC, Mad Money, with the host Jim Cramer. I'm not one of those that goes in much for individuals that are loud and boisterous and shouting all the time and, that kind of person. So I knew at the time, I don't care much for this guy, and I don't care much for his show. Well, now I know why. Jim Cramer came out this week on his show, Mad Money. Money, obviously, is not the only thing mad about this guy. But he comes out and says the following, quote, with the new Omicron variant sweeping the globe, how do we finally put an end to this pandemic? How do we save lives and get business back to normal so everybody can put dinner on the table? Simple. Here it comes. The federal government needs to require vaccines, including booster shots, for everyone in America by, say, January 1st. It's time to admit, he continues, that our government has lost the ability or the will to make our people do the right thing. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. So we've allowed a pastiche of uncoordinated health organizations to dictate an on-again and off-again series of measures that mostly leave us baffled and confused. So it's time to admit that we have to go to war against COVID. Require vaccines universally. Have the military run it. And if you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court. And even then, you need to help in the war by staying home until we beat this thing. Can you believe this clown? It is time to mandate every single American has to take the jab, including boosters, and we're going to put the military in charge of it. And the horse you rode in here on too, bruh. Can you believe this clown? For something that without existing comorbidities, you have a greater than 99% survivability rate. But this clown wants to line up the military and put them in charge of forcefully vaccinating every single American. And if you object on conscientious grounds, you better be ready to go to court to prove it. This guy is dangerous. This idiot is dangerous. You are talking about violating the very foundation of our freedoms and liberties in this country. You are talking about something that is deeply rooted in our Constitution. Oh, wait, that's right, liberals don't care about the set of rules that we live by. And you know what's ironic here? This numbskull comes out and says, it's time we go to war on COVID. Let me ask you something. The war on alcohol, prohibition, how'd that come out? Marty said, the war on poverty, how'd that come out? The war on literacy, how'd that work out? The war on drugs, how did that work out? And this clown now wants to wage war on your freedoms and your liberties. You got that right. You got that right, buddy. And the horse you rode in here on. Liberals / progressives / Democrats / the left are dangerous. Remember, I started telling you not so very long ago, after an epiphany of sorts, that these people want to control every single aspect of your lives. What kind of car you can drive, what kind you can't. Whether you can eat meat or you should eat tofu. What kind of freaking light bulb you can buy. Where you can live, where you can work. Essential versus non-essential. And they are not going to be satisfied until they control your life from the womb to the tomb. Of course, now, if the Democrats have their way, many of you wouldn't make it out of the womb to begin with. But that's a different show for a different day. These people are deranged. They are dangerous. But they can only do it if we allow it. See, I'm sure, before making this statement, and I may be giving him entirely too much credit, but charge it to my head, not to my heart. he had to think, how is this statement going to be received? And apparently, he either came to the conclusion that it would be well received, or, as Marty just said, he don't care. Either, neither is acceptable. Can you believe this clown? Of course, now, speaking of clowns and the left, again, they want to control every freaking aspect of your life. Marty's favorite girl, Joy Behar. He can't live without her. Comes out this week and says, well, you know, since the founding fathers crafted the Constitution and the like, they didn't have Twitter back then, and they didn't have AR-15s back then. So maybe it's time we, wait for it, tweak the First and Second Amendments. So let me get this straight. This country has survived all these years before Twitter showed up. But now that we have something like Twitter and the mind-dead numbskulls who still use it, or as the case may be, misuse it, now it's time to revamp the freaking Constitution? Oh, and let me guess, it only will apply to what she thinks you ought to be able to say, or what kind of weapon she thinks you ought to be able to possess. You and the horse you rode in on. I would get into your genealogy, but it's a family show. These people are dangerous. What's the old saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That way, you know exactly what they're up to at any given moment. They have shown us time after time after time. If you don't keep an eye on these clowns, you wake up one morning and poof, like magic, your liberties and your freedoms are gone. Not on my watch. No, sir. I give you my solemn pledge. It will not go unchallenged. And the good thing about it, I don't mind saying it because I know there are millions upon millions of my fellow Americans that will not stand for the same. Jim Cramer, Joy Behar, and the rest of you clowns, take notice. We will not take it sitting down, nor will we take it lightly. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get this one out of the way. Speaking of government, when we come back, new numbers out for the Biden-Harris administration. Want to take a guess whether they went up or down? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Sharing holiday cheers starts in the rewarding Mazda CX-30. Find yours during the season of inspiration.
You'll feel inspired this holiday season in a new CX-30 from Team Mazda on Airline.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, I cannot even begin to fathom, having been in this business for as long as I have, the number of polls that I've read, analyzed, dissected, so on and so forth. And throughout the course of some 40 years in this business, I've come to understand, whether you like them or not, believe them or not, polling does have some validity. The American people, despite the constant onslaught from the mainstream media, continue to hold on to the values that made this country great. And as a result, every 4 years when we go through the peaceful transition of power, you have individuals that start hoping things go a certain way, leaning in a certain direction. And if and when these things don't happen, the American people respond in a fashion to, quote, right the ship. The Biden-Harris administration, since its inception, does not have, to my knowledge, one single thing that they can say, look what a great job we've done. Not one. Crime all across America, forget about it. Withdrawal from Afghanistan, still close to 300 Americans stranded in that godforsaken place. The war on opioids, worse than it's ever been. Inflation, knocking on the door of the highest it's ever been. Supply chain crisis, still no end in sight. But by golly, you better watch out for them white supremacists. Have you ever seen an administration so totally out of touch with everyday Americans? Maybe that's why The most recent poll out from the Trafalgar Group shows President Biden with a 36% approval rating. Put that in context. 3 percentage points above 1/3, which means pretty much 2/3 of the entire United States of America is of the opinion the Biden-Harris administration is doing a horrible job. Now, you will never hear me claim to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. But as a thinking person, I have to ask myself, how is it, wink, wink, that this guy, if you believe the numbers, got more votes than any person running for president in the history of this country? And in just 11 months and change, his approval rating is at 36%. Now, I gave you a litany of things that's led to America's dissatisfaction with this current administration. I mean, you pick one. Afghanistan, southern border, crime, inflation, supply chain crisis. Pick one, anyone. But at the end of the day, being so totally out of touch has to be a big part of this. For example, not so very long ago, when President Biden was making an address to the American people, he was asked about gas prices and the pain that ordinary Americans are feeling at the pump. You know what he said? Well, if y'all would buy electric cars, you could save money on gas. He quotes the figure, you could save anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a year if you were driving an electric vehicle. By the way, he made the comments sitting in after test driving an electric Hummer with a base price tag of $118,000. How many of you can afford, in this COVID era, going out and buying a $118,000 electric Hummer so you could save $800 a year on gas? You freaking idiot. You freaking idiot. But it gets worse, y'all. It gets much worse. Here's what Joe Biden, the Democrats, the liberals won't tell you. Yeah, you're going to save money on gas, but you got to charge that puppy every couple 100 miles. So your utility bill through the roof. Oh, but it gets even better, y'all. You do realize every single gallon of gasoline sold in this country, a percentage of it goes to the federal government. It's called the Highway Transportation Fund. That's how we build roads and bridges. Every single gallon of gasoline, the federal government takes a cut. So, when you take all of these internal combustion engines out of the equation, and there's nothing but electric vehicles, where are these millions and millions and millions of dollars they've been collecting to build roads and bridges off every gallon of gasoline sold? Where is that money going to come from? Do you really think the federal government is going to give up a revenue stream of billions of dollars in gasoline tax revenue. Do you really think they're going to say, oh, well, in the interest of saving the planet, since y'all went out and bought electric vehicles, we'll just call it square? Are you really that stupid? Really? Here's what they won't tell you. When you go out and mortgage your home to buy an electric vehicle, then they're going to come up with a per use fee. See, the money you had been paying in gasoline taxes, they ain't letting that go, son. Not like talking about it. They're going to charge you for every single mile you drive. Combine that with the rise in utility bill, added to the brand new car note that you're going to have, and guess how much you gonna save? Starting to get the picture? They're hoping that you are just as stupid as they think you are. They're hoping that you will buy into the nonsense, and they will laugh all the way to the bank at the expense of your freedoms and your liberties. But hey, it's Democrats. It's what they do. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back with the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I know, y'all, that it's not Tuesday and it's not the second segment, but when I saw this one yesterday, I just couldn't resist the mantra of, now that's just stupid. You know, one of the most painful things to watch as an American is how we have gravitated away from common sense and are rushing headlong into the abyss of emotions. Can somebody please tell me where it is written, guaranteed, offered, that you can go through this life and have the right to not be, quote, offended? How did this crap ever take hold in my country? Whoever told these people that it is a right, or, as the case may be, it's even reasonable to expect that you can go through life and never be offended? Well, apparently the folks at the, and this pretty much tells you everything you need to know, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, known as CBC, coming out this week and posting an article saying, maybe it's time that we as humans rethink how we talk. Meaning, there are certain phrases, certain words, certain terms that, you know, people find uncomfortable. For example, well, first of all, they put together their team of, quote, anti-racist and language experts. You know, I think back many times to my late father and his appreciation for education. And I tried to imagine what it would have been like to have a conversation back in the day. And my late father would inquire, well, son, have you decided what you want to study at Southern or in college? Yeah, I want to be an anti-racism expert. I try to imagine what his response would be to me. I don't have enough time left to tell y'all, but I could probably sum it up with, now that's just stupid. That would probably sum up his response. But after assembling this think tank, the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company, comes out and says, well, you know, there are hurtful terms out there that we have been using for so long, and nobody apparently has really, you know, given much thought to it. So we thought we'd take the time to kind of, you know, let everybody know where we stand on this. On the list of words that you should no longer use because it's insensitive. By God, you could hurt somebody's feelings. Blackmail. How long have people been blackmailing folks? But now, all of a sudden, it's an offensive term, okay? Inner city. So let's see. If we look at a geographical location on a map, and it's a city. Inside it, in the middle of it, the inner portion of the city, we can't call it the inner city? Huh. Okay. Spooky. Who knew? So what are we pissing off ghosts now? What? Blind spot. Every day, Baton Rouge drivers being the, one of the other words you're not supposed to use, the savages that they are, I am constantly aware of people driving in my blind spot. I make it a point, you don't get right up on somebody's rear quarter panel and just ride there because they can't see you. It's the blind spot. You're blind in that particular spot. How have we arrived at a point in time in this country where something as common sense as this, it's your freaking blind spot? But I guess the libs, the progressives, would have you say, hold on, honey, I can't change lanes. I have to check my, it's a little hard of sight to see spot. It's a freaking blind spot, you idiot. How have we arrived at this point, y'all? Well, I'm going to tell you, just a quick observation. This is what happens when you feel two things. One, after you vote, your job is done. After you vote, your job is just started, my friend. It is your job as an American to ride herd on the people we elect to serve us. That's your job. Well, Clarence, I did my part. You always say we need to vote, so I went and I voted, did my thing. Your job is just starting, dude. You got to watch these folks. And every single time they come up with some whack job legislation, every single time they come up proposing something that is in direct opposition to what this country's all about, you let them know. Next time, you on your way out. But see, on a regular basis, what, 15% of us go to the polls? Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm in a group of 100 people, I don't want 15 of them making the decision for the other 85. I want all 100 to weigh in. And whatever the decision is, I'll go with it. I'll live with it. I'll abide by it. Because we all had a voice in it. But when only 15% of us care enough to show up and vote, and out of that 15%, maybe 2.5% will watch these people closely to be sure that they are in fact representing our interests. What's the old adage? When the cat's away, the mice will play. See, they know full well they ain't watching. And unless, in the words of former Governor Edwin W. Edwards, unless they catch me with a live boy or a dead girl, I'll win. They count on this, y'all. And in case you haven't noticed lately, we got some major problems in this country, y'all. Now, how did we get there? Well, we didn't pay attention. We fell into the trap of being lazy. We let the media, social media, mainstream media, and the politicians do our thinking for us. Now listen, y'all, I get it. I understand. In your pursuit of whatever your idea of the American dream is, you're busy doing that. I get it. You are attempting to live out the part of the American dream that says we want our kids to have a better life than the parents did. I get it. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you have a responsibility as an American. You are blessed to be born in the greatest country that God has ever created on this earth. You are blessed to have freedoms and liberties that people literally swim through shark-infested waters to be a part of. You are blessed to live in a country where people will walk through the freaking desert to try to get into this country to be a part of what we have. But the responsibility as an American is for you to do everything within your power to be sure that the freedoms and the liberties that we enjoy remain intact for those who follow after us. You can believe all this crap you want that the mainstream media and the Democrats are feeding you about how racist America is, how evil America is, how bad America is. Tell you what, Captain, get your happy behind on the first thing smoking and go spend 6 weeks in North Korea. Get your happy behind on the first plane smoking and go spend 6 weeks in Iran. Get your butt on a plane and go spend 6 days in Venezuela. And I guarantee you, old lady Liberty, she gonna start to look pretty damn good real quick. But you let other people think for you, and you take what they say as gospel. You ever ask yourself something? If America is so bad, why don't you ever see anybody leaving? All you see are people trying to get in. Of course, now, you will have the liars like Madonna, Samuel L. Jackson, and I don't have enough time to tell you the rest of them. If Donald Trump wins, I'm leaving. Them fools still here. Even though I offered to hold a fundraiser to get your butt out of this country. You never see them leaving. All you see are millions and millions and millions of people trying to get in. You don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier to figure out somebody is trying to BS you. And sadly, a whole lot of y'all are falling for it. Mark Twain said it best. Travel is the biggest enemy of bigotry and ignorance. If you've never been anywhere else, I guess it's easy to figure out what you really have here. All right, got to do it real quick. Here we go, brand new record. This day, just like any other, I give it to you. You know what? You are so right. America, we ain't perfect, but for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you know he loves you, and you know I do too. Best news is, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. See you next week. God bless.